So this week for our new amazing words, I wanted to go through them one at a time as we begin talking about them. And the reason for that is we do have a couple of words that are very similar to each other, and I really wanted to discuss the differences between the three of them, okay? So as we go through our amazing words today, what we're going to do is we're going to look at the action word part, we're going to be looking at the noun word part, and then we're going to be talking about the differences between three of our amazing words. So let's get the ones out of the way that we absolutely got. I know we do. One of them we even had before it as an amazing word. So the first word I wanted to show you was not duckling, but what does that duckling do to move around the water? Right. If you said paddle, you were correct. When an animal, it could be an animal or a person, paddle, it's the movement that their feet or tail or anything really make to move yourself along. So if you've ever been in a boat before and you had an oar in your hand and you move it through the water like this is your paddling, okay? It's a movement through the water made with a broad source. So if you look at this cute duckling, you can see the webbed feet between. Beavers have that really cool tail that helps them paddle along. They also have webbing between their feet. Awesome. So let's check out our next amazing word. Let me go back to my VAPs. Here we go. And this is the guy we're actually talking about this week. I think this is such a cute picture. Who knows what animal this is? I think he is so stinking cute. Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that would be so tiny. If you said beaver, you were correct. A beaver is a type of animal, specifically a mammal that lives in forested areas. And if you look at this beaver, I mean, other than being so stinking cute, you can see a couple of things about his body that are pretty cool. Number one, he's sitting on a super cool tail. And guess what that tail is for? Like we just said, that tail is actually for paddling. That tail is going to help that beaver paddle through the water safely. And he also uses that paddle to build his house, which is going to be our next amazing word. But before we move on to that, take a look at this beaver. He has a couple other cool things about him. Look at his hands. His hands are really good at grasping, gripping, and holding. And there's actually not a lot of mammals that have that. So he is very special for that. He has a very sleek body, not right there. He's all bunched up like a cute little beaver pouch. But when he's swimming, his body elongates and he has a very flowy body, which helps him swim quickly through the water away from predators. And he actually has something really cool with his teeth, okay? His teeth are a lot like a squirrel's or a rabbit's or a mouse's. They just keep growing. He has to keep chewing on things for his teeth to keep trimming. If he doesn't chew anything, his teeth get too long and then he won't be able to eat. Okay, so we're talking about this adorable, sweet little guy right here, this sweet little beaver. Oh my gosh, she's adorable. So let's check out our next amazing word. Like we said, our next amazing word is going to be his home. And beavers live in a dam, or as we're going to call it, a lodge. Let me get my text up for this. And a beaver lodge is super cool for a couple of reasons. Number one, when you look at a beaver lodge, I'm going to put it up here for him just because, there we go. I want to be able to see inside. When you look at a beaver lodge, there are so many different parts. I am actually going to make this picture bigger so that we can see all of these different parts. I just have to watch my timing for these. Here we go. So there we go. When we look at a beaver lodge, we're looking at a couple of different things. Number one, the material it's made out of is wood, sticks, trees. But he also has a couple of other things in there, okay? If you look on the inside of the beaver dam, you can see that's where his bed is. But not just his bed, it's actually kind of like a living room / bedroom for his entire family. And the only way to get in and out of a beaver lodge or a beaver dam is to go up through those tunnels that you see underground. Now, we did say he uses his tail for more than just paddling through the water. He also uses that tail to get mud and help pack down, almost like a really wide hammer, to pack down all of that mud that he uses to hold together those sticks. So the mud is acting kind of like the glue. Okay, so beavers aren't just super adorable, they're also pretty stinking smart. Okay, so now we come to those 3 words that I told you I kind of wanted to spend a little bit more time on, just because I want to make sure we don't really get confused between the 3 of them. So before I show you pictures of them, let me tell you they are each a body of water. And remember, a body of water is just a grouping of water that can flow or stand still. When we talk about bodies of water, we talk about rivers, streams, lakes, ponds. We talk about the ocean. We talk about creeks. Anything that is like a source of water, okay? It could be fresh water, it could be salt water, either or. A body of water is just a collection of water that can stay in one place or move along. So the reason why we're talking about these is because in our book, it is a nonfiction book, and it talks about these 3 bodies of water, and it also talks about this sweet little guy up here and how he might change how he lives in each of these areas, okay? So the first one I'm going to show you is a stream. Now, if we look at this stream, we can see that it doesn't look like it's going very fast, does it? No, it really doesn't. And that's because streams are smaller bodies of water, okay? When I say smaller, I don't mean shorter, I just mean they're narrower. And streams are also a little bit slower. They're not going to be as fast, so you're not going to have larger fish in there. You're not going to have as many animals in general, but it's going nice and slow. We see more streams than we do rivers because streams usually and oftentimes lead to rivers. So once we look at that stream, I think it'll be a little bit easier for us to connect to our next image. Can you guess what it is? A river! Look at that. So looking at that river, you can already tell a little bit of a difference, right? The stream is narrow. It looks nice and calm. Like there's probably some frogs hanging out in there. It looks like, oh, probably little fish and crayfish are going through there. And then you come down here and you look at this river and you're like, oh my goodness, look at the white part. What is that white part coming out of the water? Well, friends, as bodies of water grow larger, meaning wider, it's probably because there's more water coming through. And when more water is pushing through, think about science, when more water is pushing through, there's greater force, which means it's going to go fast. It's going to go faster. And when water goes really fast in such a large amount like that, what's going to happen is it's going to create rapids, it's going to create a pool, right? If you've ever been to a river before, you might know Mom and Dad have said, don't go too far out. The current could pull you under, or if you are at the beach, right? The tide, the current can pull you under. So it's something to be aware of. But a river is much larger than a stream, okay? So if a beaver were building his lodge on a stream, he probably wouldn't need to worry about making it too strong or too weak. But if he were making it on a river, he probably needs to make sure it's super strong, just because the current or the pool of that river is a lot harder. Good job. So let's do our last word, just because our video is getting a little bit long. Our last word is a still body of water. And this still body of water is pretty cool, and it's absolutely super gorgeous. So this is a lake. Now, a stream and a river, like we've been talking about, are moving water. So they are showing water that flows, right? Water that is going somewhere. A lake is different. A lake is a still body of water. A lake is not going anywhere at all. Let me write the word lake here before I forget. And the reason why we have lakes is because somewhere along the line, there was probably a river or a stream that was going through. It created an oxbow, or it created like a little nook. And then somehow it got cut off from the river on both sides. So now that water is just hanging out there, okay? So if you've ever been to the Poconos, you've been to a lake before probably. If you've ever been to, oh my goodness, Marsh Creek, right over there in Downingtown, that's a beautiful creek, or that's a beautiful lake to go to. There's a lot of lakes that you can go to that are beautiful. But in a lake, you're not going to have that push or pull that you would have with a stream or a river. It's still water, so you're not going to be feeling that current going through. And you're going to have similar life, but different animal life. It's going to be like a nice hot mix between each of them. Okay, so check out the activity that goes along with each of these really quickly before I head out. I have, I went over my time. I'll put this up on YouTube to link it. So over here, I need you to echo loud and proud. Say, echo! Echo! Gorgeous. Here we go. Beaver. Paddle. It's like the movement. Lodge. Beaver's home. Stream. Slow moving body of water. Lake. Still body of water, meaning it's not moving. River. Fast moving body of water. Beautiful.